Well, I thought, for the first time this season, we really kind of showed our youth and inexperience. We got really taken to school by a very experienced team, a very solid team, a team that's been to the NCAA a few times. I think there was a stretch during the game where that experience was extremely valuable for them and detrimental for us. And I thought ultimately that was the difference in the game. We struggled in terms of executing our zone offense, and really resulted in way too many 3 attempts, and that even contributed to our lack of defensive intensity, because there were long rebounds and run-outs, and we really couldn't form up our defense. So we were a little deficient in post defense today, to say the least. And Ryan Roster, I thought, had a tremendous game. And he's a terrific player. He could play for any team in the country and be a big part of what they do. So sometimes you got to tip your hat to the opponent. They did a great job. They executed their game plan, and even when we tried to make a little bit of a run there, they responded as an experienced team would do on the road. So I thought that was the difference in the game.
What else better for them, Bill, with Rossiter inside, with his presence? It was just tough all day to stop him.
He's just, it was 28 and 15. He dominated the backboards, even when we made stops or defended him fairly well. He rebounded his own shot, kept extra possessions alive for him, made good plays, took charges. I just thought he was the dominating force in the game for both teams.
Well, Siena got big run in the second half. Oh, and out twice. What were you trying to do to get it?
Just really settle our team down and get a little bit more intensity on the defensive end. But I thought really that their zone defense kind of forced us into way too much of a perimeter game. And when you're shooting threes, that long shots lead to long rebounds, lead to runouts. And so you're not going against a set defense. You're going against a numbers situation, and they're very good at that. They really change ends as good as any team. And I thought our offense played right into their hands. Our shot selection.
It looked like you did a pretty good job of trapping the ball out of Chase's hands and kind of forcing him into giving it up. Obviously you're going to see a lot of that, but did they do a pretty good job of that? Yeah, I
thought they did a great job of that. Now, obviously Chase is going to be our player. We need, in the first 2 games we've had guys step up around him. Today I'm not sure that, that was the case. He was out there kind of working, and guys were trying, we just didn't make shots. We're 8 for 26 from 3. And if you don't make shots, it's going to be a long night, especially if you're not getting second shots or getting the ball on the interior. So we're really going to have to address that going forward and not settle for the long ball too easily.
Offensive boards seem really hard to come by for your team. Is that team?
Well, again, Ryan Roster had 11 defensive boards, so there's the story. You're one and done, and you're not shooting a high percentage shot. So, they did a great job of that, really contesting shots, and we struggled to get good ones, and, even when we got the good one up, or if we missed it, we weren't getting a second chance.
Bill, a lot of times you had just Chase, you had one senior, but 2 freshmen, 2 sophomores, very young team. You're going to have to expect days like this going forward in terms of until the experience breeds the confidence to change things a little bit?
And I told him to, 3 games into it, 2 games we didn't show any ill effects from being inexperienced, and today I thought we showed a bunch, just in terms of how we attacked the zone, shot selections at particular times of the game, let the game get away from us, let one mistake kind of compound into another. And when you make that, you're going to have that run, that drought on offense, and then, if you don't score the ball, you can't form up your defense. You can't, form up your press or anything else. So I thought our inability to get quality shots on the offensive end led to our lack of defense.
Coach, did you prepare for Griffin to be at the point, or Brookins, or did it matter?
It really didn't matter. I knew that they're both capable, they're both good point guards. A little bit different in terms of style, but You know, both of those kids are effective, and you know, I think both of them are going to have a good year.
I mean, you recruited Brookins. Did he seem to give them any kind of spark starting today, do you think, when you could tell?
Yeah, you know, to me, it was Ryan Rossiter. I thought, you know, Rock played a great game, but the difference was Ryan Rossiter in that senior thing. He's, you know, and that team will get more experience, and I think it's more a matter of them playing together and getting some chemistry together mixed in with the experienced guys. And by the end of the year, they're going to be, you know, right where they usually are.
Coach, in your first 3 games, you guys have given up a higher shooting percentage than you've shot yourselves. The first 2 games didn't really matter. You managed to come out with the win, but today you gave up 84 points. How much does the defense concern you? Any adjustments you need to make going forward?
Yeah, I think so. We talked about it in the locker room, and part of that is youth and experience. You know, when you're a freshman and you're in your first 3 games, you're going to get caught on all the trick plays and the sucker plays and give up easy baskets. By the time you're a senior, you know, that shouldn't be happening. That's what experience is. When people talk about that, that's what it is. You know, you don't give up anything easy. And right now we're giving up too many things that are easy and not making teams, you know, work deep into the shot clock in order to get, you know, quality shots. And that's got to change. And I think also, you know, we got to be a little bit more disciplined on the offensive end. It's like I said, our shot selection directly leads to our field goal percentage defense, and that's got to improve as well. So it's a double-edged sword there.
Chase, their coach talked about the fact that he made sure that you were double teamed, and the focus was having people run at you all day long. Did that frustrate you at all?
No, not at all. The zone was pretty tough, and like Coach said, coming from the offensive shot selection, getting to the defense, it kind of got frustrating there, but double center really affected.
And Chase knows that that's going to be the game plan throughout the year. I thought he did a great job of keeping his composure and trying to work within the scheme of things. Then other guys got to step up and make shots. He got some guys, if they put two on the ball and 2 on Chase, then somebody else has got to be open, and those guys have to step up and make plays. And as we go through the year and guys get more experience, they'll be more comfortable in that role.
It seemed like Alex Harris was a little bit off. Do you think that was finally him being a freshman catching up, or was he trying to do a little bit too much after 2 really strong games to start the year?
I think a little bit of both. I mean, you're excited, you're playing at home, and you know. But again, I think, you know, Siena had more to do with that than Alex Harris. You know, they play pretty good defense, and they force you into some things that you don't want to do, and take shots you don't want to take, and you just have to be you know, tougher mentally and fight for the good one, and set more solid screens and move the ball a little better and cut a little harder. And when you do that offensively, you get better shots.
Yeah, you're talking about their experience. How good can a game like this be for you guys?
Well, you know, we talked in the locker room. This is what experience is, and I think you learn a whole lot more from a loss than you do from a win. You know, we won a close game, 2 close games, and still at time we made similar mistakes. I mean, I think in those games the difference was we were shooting 40% from 3. On the night when you don't make threes, then your mistakes become more into focus, and you know, those are the things that we're going to have to correct. We're going to have to take less threes. In those games, we're taking 16 to 18 threes. Today, 26. And part of that's their zone defense. Part of that is our own willingness to kind of give into it. So, but this, you learn a whole lot more from a loss than you do a win, and we certainly have a lot we can learn from today.
Chase, can you talk a little bit about that? What a game like this, and you've been through games like this before, what can a game like this do for your teammates?
It's good. Early on, started off 2-0, and to go through adversity early in the season, playing at Siena is a great team, so getting that experience will help for a little longer in the season.
And I'll say this, it kind of goes to my non-conference scheduling philosophy. I'd rather know now what my team needs to work on by playing quality opponents. Last year we had the 9th toughest non-conference schedule in the country. This year's no different. Same teams and going after it. And you know, when you play that type of schedule, if you don't bring your A game, it's very unforgiving. You got to come and compete. And one of the that teaches a young team is that's the attitude you have to do. You have to take. And every time we step on a court, it doesn't get any easier. We go out to Utah State next week, and Providence or Rhode Island, and the league opponent, Drexel. So we're going to have to play it at a level. And I'd rather know in November what we need to work on than wait until league play in January and February. So our kids enjoy going out and playing quality programs like Siena. They enjoy the competition, and sometimes at days like this, it's a tough pill to swallow, but you gotta take your medicine and go get better.
They have a full week between games. What are you going to be working on going in Utah State, and especially tough place for opponents to come in?
Where our team is at right now, we got to focus on what we do and who we are and what's going to be our identity. We're still, kind of fumbling around with that. Guys, your roles are still being defined, and we got to figure out who we are and what we're going to be, and what we're going to live with. And we got to get back to sitting down and guarding people and executing on the offensive end and playing fundamental basketball.